Greetings and welcome to a Friday edition of the Shotgun Start. It is August 30th. Andy, how we doing?
Brendan, I'm doing great. I gotta say, this is a new day for golf. Golf changed.
What happened?
Well, the creator. This is pre-creator classic, post-creator class. That's
like Tiger Woods 97 Masters is like everything that was golf before and everything that was professional golf after, for better or worse, or golf in general. You're talking about.
I gotta say, I can't wait. I can't wait for next year when the TPC Sod Farm has the Creator Classic, but it's representative of creators that would fill the TPC Sod Farm field.
You think they're gonna have to go down the ranks? Are they gonna have to call us? Are we creators? I don't think we are. I don't think we're not willing creators.
I got too many texts yesterday.
It's not our song
of like, why aren't you in this Creator Classic? And I sent pictures back of the golf course I was playing, enjoying my day more.
Yeah. That's fine. Creator. I mean, they said the first annual Creator Classic.
Do you think it's just going to be one off?
I don't know. That's just my whole question about billion views. What's it doing?
It's almost
for the
at
tour?
1 million views already.
Yeah. Oh, that's unsurprising. They had a big, but they're not there. They're there because they have 1 million views because all these people have well-established brands and their own channels, and they will continue to do so. I don't know what it does for us, but great party. Look good. Look good. Full disclosure, cool. This is an early Friday recording.
I'm in a zig here. It was cool.
Oh, you're just trying to get in the good graces of people, probably. You're just trying to butter. You want to be friends with Busted Jack and Mason Nutt.
I want to be friends with Snappy Gilmore. That's who I want to be friends with.
Who's that? Was that one of the people?
He's an Instagrammer, Snappy Gilmore.
Okay.
That's who I want to be friends with. But I see no harm in doing this.
Agree. Have no issue with it.
Like where it goes, I think it's just going to get worse every time. But that's
of course. Was it? I mean, if someone's like, I'm not holding myself out to be any kind of expert of any kind. We're just idiots. But we've been in the content game a long time. We've seen this sort of song and dance, these grand proposals, these executions for about 15 years now, I would say. We're capturing this audience. We're capturing the Gen Zs. Okay, what's next? You had a big party. Cool. I love it. I keep doing it. I have no grand. I mean, it seemed like it was 4.5 hours. I took my son to football practice.
Took way too long.
PJ's still slacking us about this is going on right now. I was like, wait. It's still happening? I got it from my computer like 4 hours ago. It sounds like it got a little scummy, really dicey on the last hole. Everybody, PJ, what happened?
So first of all,
we're talking about it a lot. By the way, this is very early recording Friday. It's 9 a.m. Not a single shot. We're still 2.5 hours from a single shot. We have some travel issues this weekend, so we were recording early on Thursday morning. No tour championship will be covered in this podcast. Go ahead,
it
PJ.
will be. It will be. I have some questions for you. I think this is still the tour championship preview.
Scotty Scheffler started 10 under, in case anybody wanted to tour
there we go.
God, what do you do? How did he get to 10 under?
All right.
You'll have to figure it out. I don't know. So
I can't believe he shot 6. Did he set the course record?
New Eastlake. It's gettable.
Andrew Green's
there's going to be so many course records this week.
So the Creator Classic, they played stroke play for 8 holes, and then took the top 4 people after the 8th hole to play the 18th hole. So I guess the 8th hole was the 17th hole. They only played the back 9.
Can I ask a question?
Sure.
Why couldn't they have just played 9 holes and had one winner?
I don't know.
This probably wasn't as good for the content. It sounded like, it had to get monotonous. You're at hour 3 and they're just, every Tom, Dick, and Harry, they're just playing regular golf. It's not post-produced like their usual YouTube stuff, right?
Hey,
yeah.
Who were you most impressed with And who were you least impressed with? Who was the worst golfer that you thought might be good, and who was the best golfer that you didn't think would be that good?
This is for PJ, correct?
This is for PJ.
All right. I want to make sure you're not asking me.
I don't like. I feel like the people that you would expect to play well with like professional experience all pretty much played well.
So you can
And then-
drive by, PJ. We will protect you.
Yeah.
Should drive by,
PJ.
unload the cannon. We will protect you.
I thought Fat
Who
Perez
sucked?
played pretty well.
Okay.
And I was disappointed after I stuck up for him very publicly in Beardo from Dude Perfect. He has a nice
the
swing.
best athlete in the world. One of
I
the
told
best
you I
athletes
didn't know
in
how
the
good
world.
at actual
The
golf
modern
he
day
was.
Jesse Owens.
I'm telling, dude, if you go back to like early 2013, get the Johnny Manziel Texas A&M Dude Perfect video. That's like the peak.
I've got a question. I'm not a dude. I think Dude Perfect is great. I like that Dude Perfect's super into golf, but I have a question for you, PJ
Okay.
and Brendan. Do you think if any of the Dude Perfect members could have been like an NFL player or a NBA player or a Olympic track star, do you think they'd be doing? Do you think they'd be doing Dude Perfect or that? I think this is a legitimate question.
I think they're probably great, like high school athletes in their own right, and they got together but there's a 30 for 30 on them. You can go research it, watch it. And they got together at A&M, I believe. But yeah, of course not. Of course they're not capable of being professional athletes. 99.9% of the world is not.
Well, it's just pushing back on the greatest athlete.
No, but he's the stuff. He's crazy. He can do baseball, basketball. He's done some golf stuff. I didn't know how good he actually was at real golf. He was like, I think he just played bogey golf, which is
That's fine,
totally fine. But I think
I think
I got him in
tees?
last. I don't think they went all the way back, but they were.
That feels like a cop out.
They didn't go all the way back?
I don't think they did.
Oh my God. I thought these
I
were
think
players.
I think the competitions committee needs to look at this.
PJ,
Again,
do you think the greatest
why do we
golfer-
always have to water down golf? Why can't they just put them on the back tee?
Well, I
and
mean, it was
say,
already
"Go get
4.5 hours. I would
Go
have
get
suggested
it.
we
Go get
water
it for
it down
9
more.
holes. Well, I imagine the way the convoluted finish added 30 minutes.
So they got
Everybody
to
having
play.
to wait.
They play what?
So they
Eight-
played 10 through 17, everybody. And then after that, they played the 18th hole for the top 4 scorers. And then there was a tie. There was a chip off to get into the
I love a
fourth
good
man
chip off.
playoff. So very, very convoluted to start here.
Chip offs are electric.
So they had
Was it just closest to with the chip off, or
so,
did they make them finish out?
I don't remember, honestly. I think it was just
Closest
Clearly
to.
left an
closest
impression
to.
on you on PJ,
Yeah,
the chip-off contest.
the whole thing. I like you said, it was like an episode of the Twilight Zone that lasted like 5 hours. Like I don't know. Also, I went back. I have pulled up the footage here. They were on the back tee box, but the tee was like moved up. So I don't actually know where.
They probably played back, right? I mean,
Okay.
come on. They probably played back. Roger Steele's got 195 mile an hour ball speed.
Dude,
and
he was
professional
he was
golfers.
smoking it.
Yeah.
You know what? I think the big winner out of the Creator Classic was Chicago.
Of course you'd claim that. He's just going to claim that no matter what.
Roger Steele represented our great city well.
Good. I'm
Yes,
happy
he
for
did,
you.
as the only one who played the 18th hole in bounds.
What
Three
happened here?
of the 4 finalists, including PGA Tour pro Wesley Bryan, played up the 10th fairway, which is
was
not allowed.
designated OB for the tournament. not necessarily the Creator Classic.
Not the Creator Classic, clearly.
How could they go and designate that for the tournament? I thought the point of this was to have the creators playing the same course of the PGA Tour. I think we should be protesting this, that Roger Steele should be the winner of the Creator Classic.
So
Chicago wins the Creator Classic.
PJ, you called the other three cowards for going up the 10th.
Yeah, I mean they played the course illegally. Like I don't know what hit the ball on the 18th fairway.
And Wes Bryant wanted TIO relief after this little hijinks.
After playing up the 10th fairway, he missed the green and was obstructed by, I think it was a grandstand, and immediately called for a ruling on the 18th hole of the Creator Classic.
Who rolled down? Did 10 Cackett roll down?
I think it was Gary Young. I think I saw Gary Young in the screenshot PJ dropped in. Does Gary Young need to be putting up with this bullshit? Like, come on. If you're Gary Young, you're asking for an extra bonus off this week. You're dealing with, the Wednesday work, I think.
So, again, the PGA Tour pro who hit it internally out of bounds, then missed the green and asked for TIO. And then also still lost.
Who won?
Luke Kwan from Good.
Oklahoma, former Sooner. Former member of the Burley Boys.
It feels like the college golfers who can't make it as a pro are no longer becoming agents and now are becoming YouTube golfers.
Yeah, I think I
a
saw
lot of
that
them are agents.
Ryan Ruffles is trying to get his YouTube going.
Interesting. All right. Well,
I think we buried the lead of that. Bryson was in the YouTube comments, which was my favorite part of the entire thing.
The thirst bucket of the century. Just completely milquetoast stuff from what I saw. Like, good swing. Look at all that power. Like, I think it was just throwing himself in the ring, not actually adding substantive comments from what I understood. That's your Creator Classic.
They should have gotten Bryson on the telecast.
He's suspended from the tour. He's not allowed to be involved.
He's not allowed to be on the telecast either.
Probably. I mean, this is my thing. That's like a half tour production. It's a half creator production, and you end up sort of it's still golf, dude. Like it's not post produced. So you got 4 hours of balls like rolling down the fairway. I don't know. Are people going to watch that on YouTube for 4 hours? Well, maybe they do. Maybe
I think
that's
the issue with the live golf versus post production,
right?
And why good works is it's 15 minutes.
Well, also I feel like one of the biggest parts, especially with like the crew they had yesterday, the Dude Perfect guy, perfect example, or Fat Perez. None of these people are mic'd up. That's half.
Wait, they weren't mic'd up?
No,
I heard they were mic'd up for their own channels, and that's all going to come out on
they
their
are
own
all
channels.
making their own content, but they're not mic'd up on the broadcast. Like, half of why Fat Perez is like getting 1 million views is because he's hilarious, and you didn't get any of that yesterday.
Interesting. Well, it happened. I mean, everybody involved with it will tell you it was incredible.
This is version 1.
They're working their way up. We're in the post Creator Classic world.
That's right.
I'm bullish.
Should we move to Big J?
Big J talked.
Can we interlude here? Can we just
Sound
stop?
and Fury signifying nothing.
I want to break this up. Let's not roll from. I need to break it up. We could ask both of you. Who benefits the most from a FedEx Cup win this weekend? This is the preview we didn't do.
Keegan Bradley.
I was going to also say Keegan Bradley.
Keegan Bradley? Really?
Would be amazing. $25 million.
He'd be locked in as the
playing captain.
Yeah,
I don't know about that. No, I don't think so.
Well, this would be a great FedEx Cup fact. Has a reigning FedEx Cup winner ever not been on the next year's Ryder Cup team? I would venture to say
Cup
no.
Question, less a fact. But yes, that's
to
true.
presume fact is no, right? That has to be true. Plant was Bill. The biggest question was Bill Haas.
Bill Horschel's never been on a Ryder Cup.
Oh God.
Because
that
Billy
was maybe-
Haas, I don't.
Well,
maybe
he
been a
missed the Ryder
President's
Cup. He missed the
Billy-
Ryder Cup that year.
Yes,
And we had
Billy
the
Horschel
Billy-
was that year.
Yeah, that was
And
Ryder
then we
Cup
have the
rule.
Horschel rule. Yeah, the Horschel rule.
So that doesn't
came in.
count.
Yeah,
I'm
which
saying
got Ryan
the
Moore on.
Yeah. Successive Presidents or Ryder Cup team the year after was Billy. Billy might not have been on that President's Cup team the next year.
No, he wasn't.
Bill
Because Quail Hollow
Haas
was his
also
first.
was not on the 2012 Ryder Cup team.
All right. So I think it's a long ways off the following September. I'm going Keegan would garner a lot from winning a FedEx Cup. Who would you say?
I mean, do I have the full, do I take away the shots or who has a legitimate chance? Since
I think a legitimate chance.
Since there's 6 players in the
Can
field
I ask
that
you
have a
how
chance
far
to
back
win.
is too far back then if we're going to do this on Thursday morning?
Where
are you going?
I think you have to be 4 under,
Okay.
right?
Okay.
4 under seems to be that's. I mean,
A lot of
do you
bodies
think-
to move ahead of if you're not.
Here's my question. Do you think this group of players, Tony Finau, Shane Lowry, Adam Scott, and Sungjae Im and Syed, do you think they're going to beat Scotty Scheffler by 7, Xander Schauffele by 5 this week?
I think they got to beat him by 8, right?
Yeah, they'd have to beat. Well, I'm saying 7 to be in a playoff.
To tie. No, I mean it's not. It's maybe Scheffler by 7, but it's also Scheffler by 7 and Xander by whatever 5 and Hideki by 4. Yeah, no,
And
no.
then it's Ludwig by 2. Then they have to beat.
Yeah.
To me, you get to Morikawa, Rory, Cantlay, that. That's where I could conceivably see them beating Scheffler by. I could conceivably maybe the group of players is more interesting at 4. Biggest to gain. I think I will go just for point of differentiation, Ludwig, because it would be at this point the biggest accomplishment in his career. Though if you look through the list, this is a blip on the radar for Scotty, Xander, Hideki. I guess Keegan would be the biggest. It wouldn't even be the biggest accomplishment of Keegan's career. Sam Burns is another one that it would be a big accomplishment for.
I think Slam and Sam could use it. Yeah.
I don't think that's going to happen though. I'd throw him in the bucket of I don't think he can beat all those players by X number of shots in the same week.
Yeah, I don't see Xander. I just don't see Xander falling off here, given his track record. Seems like he's
new
primed.
golf course though.
Yeah, that's true. Brand new golf course. Internal OB scattered about just all over the property. You never know where it might be.
Doesn't seem like he likes it. Doesn't seem like any of these guys like the course.
Well, that's great. I like that. I'm going to give the renovation an A+ if that's the case.
Did any of the creators air grievances about the golf course, PJ?
I don't think they probably aired
I don't think they
about
aired
anything.
grievances, but the greens
Everybody
were
was just happy.
The greens were pretty dicey. Like you said, they were not holding greens because the balls were not coming in high enough. But
going to the back of the green. Yeah,
I mean, that's the thing.
Often.
I think the Creator Classic would have been better if they had better tour pros in it.
Are we back on the Creator Classic? All right, Ludwig for you.
If you would have shown how these guys, how great tour pros, how high they hit it, and they're able to hold balls from that the creators can't. It just shows the difference.
Well, the whole.
But that being said, no tour pro should sign up for the Creator Classic because you can't lose. Roger Steele's going to walk away from this saying, I hung with Wesley Bryan for I hung with a PGA Tour player. Wesley Bryan lost a lot of stock, even though he did win the 8 holes. I want to point out, he was the 8-hole champion.
Congrats.
He won the stroke play portion of the Creator Classic.
All right. Well, you can put that on his Wikipedia page.
I don't think you can. You can't say, oh, he lost. He lost to 1-hole playoff. Anybody could win or lose a 1-hole playoff.
That's true. Especially when you go up the wrong fairway, just pulling these immoral, sort of scummy tactics.
The other
two
did not need TIO from the 10th fairway. That's all I'm saying.
Who were the other two? Quan and Steele. Steele went up the right fairway. Roger did.
Roger
Quan.
Steele, big winner from the.
I can't believe we're still talking. All right, let's go. Let's move
Roger
on.
Steele, shout out to you.
Congrats to everyone involved.
Well, you know
billion
what?
views.
For people that follow our Instagram, who would have known that we'd gotten a Creator Classic Eve exclusive interview with someone that was going to be in the playoff.
With the true winner, in my
true
opinion,
winner,
because everybody else should have gotten.
Yeah. You know what? And we detailed
bounds.
how he was going to tackle Eastlake, and I think he executed his strategy perfectly. He played bully ball.
Bully ball. I mean, he was at Medina. You know, like
I was going to say the Medina
an hour
practice
before he had to
round
tee off in Atlanta. He's in Chicago, and there you go. He shows up, bullies people around.
I have to say, it was a feat of excellence. The other feat of excellence is he played in like real feel 115 degrees in Chicago, and then rolled down to Eastlake. It probably felt cool in Eastlake after that day we played in Chicago.
Oh my gosh. Well, congrats to everyone involved.
All right, Big J.
I don't have anything. I'm not going to shout. I'm not going to shout about this. It was by even J standards. I thought it was bad. I thought it was empty. I thought it was terrible. And this is even by J standards. I'm not going to shout. It was like just an embarrassing, mealy mouthed junk. And I think he seems like a good person. He might even be an okay commissioner. I don't know what you're supposed to say in those press conferences.
He doesn't have anything to say.
He kicks it over to Tyler Dennis anytime there's a potentially challenging question. He just, becomes a competitions issue all of a sudden. Tyler Dennis, by the way, one of the all-time great 2 first names guys. Like, if you have 2 first names, do you have one? Like, that's a ridiculous.
Is the name Dennis dead? Like, I haven't heard of any kid in the last 15 years being named Dennis. Does he still have 2 first names if nobody's naming their kid Dennis?
Dennis. Let's bring that back. Dennis.
I think Dennis is kind of cool. Dennis. I'm surprised nobody goes by Den.
Denny. Yeah, it was a bad press conference. He has no update on the PIF. He's just, he went all on the fan survey and the fan council. He talked about our partners, our investors. I couldn't tell you. He didn't say, he had no real answers about deadlines, no real answers about rollback, no real answers about cards. There's rumors of imminent, massive, significant cuts coming to the PGA Tour. Rumors, that are very imminent. Budget cuts coming to the PGA Tour. No, there was just nothing substantive about what they're doing, where they're going, other than Memphis is still in the quote unquote embryonic stage as a playoffs event. Doesn't seem interested in moving the playoffs anywhere. FedEx is a very important partner to us, and it's working well. Spent like 5 minutes talking about how great it was, and then said, having said that, we'll look at everything, So yeah, he didn't have anything to say. Even by Jay standard, I thought it was just feckless.
I have to say that I think, you not yelling about this represents that we've moved to a new stage of grief. So, denial. I think that we passed denial a couple years ago. You were a big J defender.
Was I?
Anger. I feel like we've been in an anger period for a while. The 5 stages of grief: denial,
I'm empathetic
anger,
of his play,
bargaining,
I'm
depression,
of his play.
and acceptance. I think where would you say we are, PJ? I think we're in
I was just going to
resignation,
apathy.
Yeah.
Nobody cares at this point.
That's probably what he wants. He's probably worn us down to just throwing our hands up. The tour is what it is. You are what you are.
So you think you've accepted? I think you've accepted that this is where we are. I would say that you might be in depression.
No, I mean,
where you just don't care. You don't care.
I'm completely fine. Where are you? He's not. What's he going to say up there? It's just whatever. But there's got to be a better way. He's got to be better. Like, it's just a bunch of bullshit.
I mean, I just don't think he has any power. He can't do anything. They should put Patrick Cantlay up there and Rory and put both sides up there, have them talk it out in front of people, and then we'd get somewhere.
That's fine. I think There should be searing criticism of that performance is warranted. I wouldn't disabuse you of writing something, and that's fine.
You're not ready to do it. You know why? Because you've come to the acceptance stage.
I think I just said some pretty negative things about the performance, but I also I don't know what he's supposed to say, and I just the tour has just shoveled so much bullshit at us for years with these. They've got too many people coming up with too many messages. We had fucking coming back from the pandemic became a capitalized branded exercise. Return to golf. This is what we do. This is the bullshit they've just create and glom onto everything. I think they're very good at some things. That is not necessarily. They're very good. It's a very, very good. They excel at some things. They excel at hosting the world's preeminent staggered start tournament. They excel at making money in some ways. That is just. Whatever. Too much comms, too much PR.
Hosting the world's preeminent staggered start tournament.
Yes, that was.
Can I tell you that I went through 5 stages of grief the last 2 days?
Yeah.
I met at Airbnb in the Northwoods of Wisconsin. And lots of political signs up here, but also in my Airbnb, there's so many cups, and this is the cup that I've been forced to drink out of.
Is that Packers? What is that? Okay, there you go. Everybody can see that on their radio or wherever they're listening to this.
Drinking out of a fucking Packers cup.
Oh my God, we're dropping F-bombs left and right here. The tour, the Packers have us all worked up. What wasn't? Go ahead.
The Jay thing. He's the most. I get. This is the word that I've settled on. The most feeble commissioner in all of sports,
but yet he has held on to power. He's clearly maneuvering in an effective way enough to keep his job.
Well, yeah, of course he's held on to power. The organization doesn't agree about anything.
That's true.
Why there's no updates is you couldn't get these guys all to sign a paper that say the sky is blue. It's gotten to the point where it's so contentious, and none of these guys can agree to anything, and that's the problem. The players are in control, and you can't get them to do anything together.
Yeah. All right. I don't want to shout about it.
Jay's the commissioner of nothing.
It was worthy of criticism if you wanted to write that searing column. I also don't know what he's supposed to they excel at pissing on us and telling us it's raining, essentially, and that's what that was.
Hey, I also got some texts that were mad at me that I didn't acquiesce to your Labor Day celebration, and I think I made a mistake.
What do you mean?
September is the greatest month.
It is. It's the best. The best.
It's just the greatest month.
We're gonna miss. I think.
I will say, I think October is sneaky. Maybe become the new September.
It's up there. Global warming.
It might be better than September.
Global warming is boosting October into the rankings. It's a little more temperate.
Would you say October is the second best month of the year?
It's up there. What's the worst month of the year? February. August is in the running.
No. August is great.
Oh my God. Okay. All right.
I do start to get sad this time of August when it starts to get dark early. I love summer. I think that's something
provocative take.
Well, I live somewhere where it's really nice all year, pretty much. But I still really love summer. And I think it's because of the long days. Yeah. I just am a sucker for long days.
Yeah. If you have a long day, you should spend some of it reading up on Club TFV, course profile design notebook.
You know what?
This is worth your investment. $120.
Here's the thing. It's starting to get dark. You got more hours in the house coming. Best way to fill those hours with Club TFV.
You can't go outside when it's dark?
No.
Not allowed?
You got to watch out for bears. Apparently, they're everywhere.
All right. You can read up on Club TFV. We put a lot of elbow grease into this. We work on this. We Invest in it. We spend a lot of time creating great content. We are creators in there. We are creators. I don't know if we're worthy of the creator classic in any way.
We're not classic creators.
No, this is a lot of, I would say, legitimate expertise, authority, and hard work put into the great course profiles with photography, illustrations, history, design notebook, where you can get a lot of scuttlebutt on what may be happening in the architecture world or at your own course. Hey, they got Joe Blow to come in, and all of a sudden, this hole is going to be this way, or what might happen? They're going to invest this. They're putting $15 million into TPC Craig T. Nelson. And I'm not saying that'll go in design notebook, but more, I don't know, well-sourced rumors happen in the design world, as well as, what we've seen out there, what we think of certain courses. This is happening every Monday in a beefy design notebook. Garrett, I think for my money, is as good as it gets in the golf architecture content world right now. He's going on the road next week to I won't disclose it. He's going on the road, traveling for a week to see new courses, acquire new expertise, new content, bring it to the club. And part of what underwrites and subsidizes that is your membership. It's $120 for the year. And you get almost a weekly profile, almost, if we're stay on our shit, which doesn't always happen, but it's almost weekly.
I'd say it's like 46 to 48 profiles a year.
You get access to special events, and I'll say this. We got some tea times at some nice places coming up. But, Club TFE gets first dibs on those. Is that fair to say? Some nice places? Are we allowed to say names, or we don't want to probably say names right now?
Just keep
some nice spots. Places. Some good, good spots.
Not everybody needs to make a public show every time they get somebody on somewhere.
And we're trying to add more of these experiences, whether it's like 30 people, 12. We had one at Colorado Golf Club last, I don't know.
You're just naming names now,
Well, it's already passed, and there's been social media. Oakland Hills was one you were at, and the time has passed on those. So we're having more of these, adding more of these next year. So it's content, it's couple access to events, it's off the percentage off in the pro shop. It's a lot of things. It's hangouts. It's a lot, but it also helps
for Club
fund
TFE.
our work. So Club TFE,
which you still describe it as the hottest club in town.
I don't know. I have to check the numbers. I have to check. It's hot. I was told it's hot. The bouncers might have, held the rope up. We need to slow down the inflow of traffic. Bottleneck. I don't know how hot it is. I got to check the numbers. It's up there though. It's hot. Let's do Friday golf advice. Let's bounce around. I've got a bunch of these. Can I start?
One. Can I start with one?
Yeah, please.
This is a follow-up from last week.
Okay.
Lost is the title.
Okay.
43-year-old father of two, not interested in fighting much. I'm a member of a golf course on the Gold Coast of Australia. Drink beer. And don't mind Guzman and Gomez burritos. Should I just give up at life?
What?
I think this is in response to you calling the Gold Coast of Australia Myrtle Beach of Australia.
That's what the emailer said.
And me saying that Guzman and Gomez have terrible Mexican food.
Is this the hybrid Australian Mexican place in Chicago?
Yes, it's the random Australian Mexican place that opened a restaurant in a Chicago suburb. And Chicago has some of the best Mexican food in the world outside of,
Chicago has the best everything in the world, quite honestly. I mean, how would we take your word?
We have the best creator in the Creator Classic.
How would we take your word for it? You're just going to you just say it's the greatest every time. Boy, who cried great at this point of everything in Chicago. All right, PGA Tour fantasy contest debacle.
Wait, would you say, what should he give up?
No.
You didn't answer.
Enjoy your burritos. Everybody has a guilty pleasure where they like something that we know is gross and bad. Food-wise, please, food-wise. I'm keeping this, relatively adult, safe for kids. Yeah, why? Of course. Indulge, I don't mind. You can eat junk food. Don't give up.
I think the Gold Coast looks beautiful.
Oh, yeah, it's supposed to be amazing. Come on.
Seems like you got a great life. Remember
Yeah.
a club, you live in a beautiful place. And, I can't imagine there's a lot of good Mexican food in Australia, so Guzman and Gomez might stand out.
All right, this is PGA Tour Fantasy Contest debacle. 41, no kids, no interest in fighting. This is very good. I'm glad you guys started peeling back the onion on PGA Tour fantasy prizes. We need to get Jay to account and call him to the carpet for this email. He needs to be asked about
We
this.
should have been there to ask about this. How come Friday gets a better fantasy playoffs fantasy contest?
Do you think
Strategic-
he would pass to Tyler Dennis on that?
What happened? Why is it
How about
$300?
competition?
How about the
PGA
creators
Tour-
just getting a griddle?
Well,
Yeah,
I think
that
they
was-
got a lot of. They got a lot more from that whole party.
Do you think they
than
got
the
a
griddle.
shop in the PGA Tour merchandise shop? Do you think
They
they
had
got
a
a gift
full
card?
$300 gift card. I mean, it's a full blown production. Like the amount of the cost to put that thing on had to be not insignificant. All right, I'm glad you guys started peeling back the onion on PGA Tour fantasy prizes. I'm familiar with them because I actually won the entire season-long contest in 2015.
Unbelievable!
I won a-
Congratulations!
Yeah, I won a Scotty Cameron putter, a Vokey wedge, and a Titleist driver, which is more than $300 credit to the Superstore. That year, there we go. The winner also got a foursome at any TPC course. Not too bad if you add everything up and visit the right course. This is where the good news ends. It started when a regular flex driver shaft and a 35-inch putter, too long for me, showed up at my door. I inquired about exchanging and was rebuffed. You get what you get, and you don't get upset. So
What?
just unusable clubs, I guess.
This is awful. This is unbelievable.
Yeah, club champion would never. All right, booking the foursome. So he can't use the putter. It's too long. The shaft does not work for him. All right, booking the foursome required me to work with one specific person at a promotional company that handled this kind of stuff for the tour. When I emailed the person that was supposed to set up my free round,
You gotta go sawgrass.
their email, we'll get there, their email bounced. They no longer worked at the company. I called in, left messages. Ultimately, I had to figure out who this original person reported up to on LinkedIn and guess their email format just to get back in contact. Eventually, I got my round on the books. I was hoping to use it at TPC Sawgrass to maximize its value, but my buddies and I already had a low-budget golf trip to the Quad Cities planned.
No.
So I decided to treat them to a round at TPC Deer Run. You feel pretty proud telling your bros that you'll cover the round because, well, you were the best fantasy golf player in the entire world for 1 year. Imagine my surprise when I pop into the pro shop to check in, and you guessed it, TPC Deer Run had no idea what I was talking about with my, quote, free foursome. After a few minutes of explaining, I got nowhere. The register was asking for $800 or so. We tee off in 45 minutes. So my question is, what do you do in this moment? My buddies don't have the money to spend $200 on rounds of golf. I can't ask them to pay after already offering and saying it was covered by my fantasy excellence. No time to call the promotional company, which that sounded like a complete disaster, handling the fantasy contest. I was exhausted dealing with them already from going through LinkedIn and trying to find emails.
This is the thing. If you pay for it, at this point, you have to have no faith that you're going to get reimbursed.
No. So he goes, I ended up just paying for it and never telling anyone, my buddies. What was the move here? Did I have another option? Addendum. The worst part of the story is months after the Deer Run debacle, I got $10.99 for the fair market value of my fantasy winnings, around $2,000, which means I ended up in the negative despite selling the driver and the putter. He sold the driver and the putter, still in the negative. And $800 for Deer Run and $10.99 for the fair market value around 2K. So what do you do when you're at the register?
Can I ask you a question first?
Yeah.
Is being able to tell the world that you're the best fantasy golf player in the world for a given year worth ending up in the negative?
It's a pretty lofty claim and title you can throw out there.
PJ,
no,
what
I
do you
don't think
think?
it's worth being in the negative.
It's something that I would take a lot of pride in personally, but I don't
Sure.
think anybody in my life would give one singular shit. at all.
Where do you fall?
No, I mean, I don't. It doesn't seem like he was in necessarily like the life position that a negative would be a good thing. You know?
Yeah. Yep. Oh, well, he drops $800, figuring, I don't know, you'll get reimbursed or something like the 800-ish
Oh
to
my
play
God.
DPC Deer Run for his 3 buddies. He got jammed by the
I
promo
think-
and the tour.
I think the worst part about this is the driver and the putter.
It's not at all. That's ridiculous.
I do. I think it's the worst part is that you don't even get a driver that you can use.
What would you do in the
What a
moment?
vapid, hollow prize. Maybe this is why they've shifted just to simple $300 PGA Tour
Credit.
Superstar.
The credit. Get the right shaft or the right length
I mean,
putter.
if you win one of these, here's the thing. This is all a ploy just to get people's email addresses so they can bomb them with emails.
About,
And,
come
and
to
then sell them to
Sawgrass.
their partners.
Right. Come to Sawgrass, spend $1,500. Yeah.
Sell them to, all their partners that we hear Jay talk about all the time.
Blackstone.
Like, that's the point of their whole fantasy contest. They're getting probably tens of thousands of emails from this, and they're giving out a donated driver, a donated putter, and what equates to free inventory at the TPC network. They aren't even giving out any money. You should win this, and you should win like $20,000.
That's their extreme budget cuts are coming, imminent. I don't think that's happening.
Didn't look like there was any budget cuts with the Creator Classic.
They're just deciding what to put their money towards, I suppose. You pay and you hopefully get reimbursed. You can't jam your buddies. It seems like you can't make a scene with the Deer Run people. What are they supposed to be? They're not their fault. The promo company and the tour are clearly the evil people in this scenario, but you got to pay. Hope to God you get reimbursed, but don't expect it. It's bullshit, and we can call the tour out and whatever garbage promotional company was involved.
Can I start a new segment?
Yeah.
The Jam of the Week.
Yeah, what's the Jam of the Week?
I like that range show on Wednesday on Golf Channel actually a lot. It's like nitty gritty nerd show.
Was it
like
Brandel and Rich Lerner? I saw them on my TV.
Well,
or was it?
Yeah,
Mix?
yeah.
Okay.
And then they had like Smartin was out there, and I loved seeing Smartin on Golf Channel. It was great. One
Real
of the best
substance.
people.
Real substance.
I mean, nobody knows more about golf. I think Smartin's forgotten more about golf than I know. But they totally jammed him.
What's the jam of the week? Oh, God. What's the jam of the week?
So he comes on and he's all squinty eye. They got him facing right into the sun.
He has
talking
glasses,
to the camera.
He wears spectacles.
Wears glasses. He couldn't keep his eyes open. He's on TV. And I'm like, I was so excited. I'm like, there's Smartin.
Jam of the week.
Jam of the week.
Okay.
They just had him. I got a picture. We can put this up on Instagram.
Now you're double jamming them. You're now spreading the squinty-eyed Smartin everywhere with a still image. Because we only know 10 people were actually watching it live, for God's sakes. Now you're going to spread it around the world? Oh, my God. That is a jam. Jam job.
Total jam. You see
All
that?
Right. Yeah. Yep. All right. Next one. Is it time to be an adult? This is a great quandary. 25, you are not an adult, in my opinion. 25, no kids, no interest in fighting.
No kids. I feel like you become an adult when you get a kid.
Yeah. Maybe. Yeah. My first job out of college, I worked at a law firm, and I had roommates. And one of the partners or the associate guy is like 30. He's like, "You have roommates? Like, what are you, a child?" It's like, "No, I'm not a loser. What are you talking about? We have a 3-bedroom condo. We party. What do you mean? Why would I live by myself? I'm 23. I go, "No. It's like, I just got out of college. I'm not going to live by myself. Live with my buddies." I was like, "Yo, I'm not a loser."
the origins, I think, of a fried egg tie back to a 3-bedroom apartment. I might have just moved out. It was actually my first year out of the 3-bedroom apartment is when I started a company. But there was no way actually I was going to start a company living in the 3-bedroom apartment because it was a 2-bedroom condo with a den. And I lived in the den.
I know the whole den. Yeah.
It was tiny.
French
it had
doors.
French doors to the living room.
Yeah.
It was a disaster. There was no way you could ever have a serious life living in the den.
No. I mean, so we're not adults, but, we're normal. All right. I've come to a bit of a crossroads in my golf and professional career. For a bit of context, I grew up a baseball player, played college baseball, got hurt during the pandemic. I learned how to play golf after I got hurt since my dad is a former teaching pro. I got good pretty fast and became all I did. I spent hours and hours on my game and got to the point I got pretty good. Simultaneously, I joined the military and deployed to the Middle East.
Oh, my God.
When I returned home, I was recruited to play Division I golf since I still had 4 years of NCAA eligibility. I played 2 full seasons while working wherever the golf schedule allows. I recently lost my job where I was making good enough money to work and play college golf. I have enough money saved up where I could play college golf for 1 or 2 more seasons. Again, he says he's 25. But I'm not sure if finishing out my golf careers will drain all my savings. Parentheses, I'm unable to find another job where I can do both and afford not to dip into my savings. Is it time I grow up and start working a normal job? Or do I keep at it these last 2 years since this is an opportunity I will never be able to come back to? Work will always be there, and so will golf, just not in the same capacity. Important note, I already have my bachelor's degree. I'm now getting a nonsense master's in something I will never use just to play golf, since all the education is being paid for. Thanks for the help. Love the show. 2 years of eligibility, 25.
Oh, my God. I mean, here's...
Financially at a crossroads, kind of.
Now, if you asked an Instagram financial influencer, they would tell you to invest in something, and then this is how you compound your interest, and this is how you could turn whatever your savings is into $1 million.
Everybody's Warren Buffett
years
on Instagram Reels.
So, but I'm gonna go the other way. I'm gonna say you will, if you don't do it, you will always look back and be like, man, it would have been fun to play more college golf. And I wish I would have done that. I think like I experience this every time I fly into Chicago is like I miss deeply my 20s in Chicago. Like I love that time of your life is like the greatest time of your life. And not the greatest time of your life, but it's just like this amazing time of your life where you don't really have responsibility. And the ability to play 2 more years of college golf, you're getting a master's degree. Like, it's not like you're doing nothing. You're going to school. I just think when you're able to do that, you can go, like, you're going to have amazing life experiences. You're playing college golf. It's going to be like a really rewarding thing. And if it sucks after 1 year, stop and go work. Like, it doesn't mean you have to finish, right?
You're 25, you have no kids.
Yeah.
This is the time to be financially a little irresponsible, dip into savings. Either there is no such thing almost as a financial. I'm not trying to minimize being broke or having to work, like having to support yourself at all. Like, that is a real problem that like all of us have, or many of us do. And so I don't want to minimize that, but this is a time that you're never going to, when you're 35, don't go play college golf. And you got to be responsible financially a little bit more. Don't do it. But go. You're 25, no kids, get your degree, your master's or whatever it is. And get the experience of playing college golf. You're not going to get that. You're not going to want to go back and do it. Do it now. It's great. I have to add these details. You're going to love this. He sent a second email. He's like, other important forgotten details. We qualify and practice at Harborside and Lost Marsh. Not sure if that changes your answer. Maybe don't play that golf anymore. Harborside and Lost Marsh. 2 notorious garbage designs that have been lampooned on this podcast and elsewhere.
I still do it. I think that Lost Marsh is so bad that it can be good. You know, it is. I couldn't imagine doing qualifying at Lost Marsh. The first 5 holes, you could. I mean, if you can get through the first 5 holes, you know you're going to qualify.
Yep. Yeah. Yeah. Just get through
I'd say
it.
the other aspect about this, from like a financial sense, and I'm sure there's going to be some financial advisors that are going to like say how stupid this is.
Yeah.
But if you're military, you don't have to put down payment on houses ever in your life.
We might need a fact check on that. Is that right? Is that what your dad? Because your dad?
No,
talking about the freedom rides.
My brother-in-law is
Okay.
a veteran.
Okay, interesting.
So you don't have to put a down payment. Like, so you can, like, with that in your back pocket, I think it's an opportunity to be a little bit more risky.
Go play college golf. We're gonna do one quick one. We're gonna go off on a happy note in the holiday
here we
weekend.
got PJ.
We have breaking news from Josh Carpenter, related in a way to the Creator Classic.
I knew it was gonna be Creator Classic related.
The Netflix Cup has been canceled.
There's only so much room for these, fabricated, contrived, made for TV streaming matches.
It's over.
We only had one, right?
Yep.
Do you think that Netflix watched the Creator Classic and said, we can't compete with this?
We're out.
We're done.
I concede. All right. Good. That's a good break-in. Good break-in, PJ.
Thank you for the breaking news.
All right, quick one. We're going to the weekend.
That's going to ruin my Labor Day weekend, personally. I don't know if I could go on.
God, that was F1 drivers, right? And I can't keep them all straight at this point.
The best part about it was the sphere.
Yeah, you had the emojis.
That was everybody's fascination, was the sphere.
Yes. Last one. Hole-in-one on a par 4 plaque removed. My home club in Chicago has a great drivable par 4 16th hole. I bet you can identify it maybe by that alone, Andy. A while ago, a member made a hole-in-one on it, which is incredible. It's about 280 to 300 yards, and you have to fade it around some trees to a very sloped left to right green.
This might be Ridge Country Club.
His plaque stood for about 10 years, commemorating the hole-in-one. I left the club for a few years and came back and noticed the plaque was gone. Confused, I asked the guy what happened. Apparently, the member who had the plaque got in a fight with another member over something quite personal between the two of them on the patio during family night and had been kicked out of the club. What is the line of demarcation in terms of golf course crimes that would warrant removing a plaque like this one? And does it matter if it's a hole-in-one or some random one-off bench that was donated by a deceased member or for a deceased member? I think getting thrown out of the club. I mean, look, the plaque proliferation is a menace, as we know. We saw the Belfries claiming to be the spiritual home of the Ryder Cup. We just need to slow down on the plaques. I think the line can be quite low because the plaques are overdone. Just a hole-in-one on a par 4, great achievement. You can remove it if the guy got tossed. I feel like
there should be like a thing in the locker room. This is like a board in the locker room. This is not worthy of a plaque on a golf course.
Especially if the guy got thrown out of the club. Even if he's still in the club, I'm still quibbling with it. But you could throw it out. It's not
Ridge Country Club, by the way.
Okay.
I think the 15th is their short par 4 on the back.
So I love the idea that he got in a fight on patio night, or family night on the patio. And they went out to the whatever hole, 16th tee, dug up the plaque and threw him out of the club.
I love that too. Here's a question. At what type of country club event would be the worst place to get in a verbal altercation? Is there a worse place than family night?
I mean, it's got to be up there, right?
I think it might be. I would lean
towards
first
like world problem.
I would lean towards when they do like the camping night with your kids when you camp on the golf course.
Well, the parents probably got to get boozed up to indulge such a stupid endeavor, and maybe you get a fight.
Yeah.
I mean, if there's like some sort of wedding reception, I guess maybe, or wedding ceremony. I don't know.
I mean, the
don't
wedding
know.
ceremony, the booze is flowing. I
well,
feel like
I
fights
meant more
can
like
happen.
prior the early portion of the ceremony.
I mean, family night might be the worst place to get in a fight.
Easter brunch
Oh, that's the worst.
seems like it would be kind of unnecessary.
You bring your whole family. You got like the grandmothers are there,
Yeah,
and you get
the
in a
bunny's
fight.
taking pictures in the costume. So got all sorts of things. All right, that does it. Everyone enjoy your holiday weekends. We'll be back. We'll have a tour championship recap. As of this
Do you
moment,
think-
not a shot struck.
Do you think we're gonna have any Creator Classic fallout that's gonna leak into Monday's episode?
What do you mean? Like they cooked the books, the numbers were wrong, or
I
what do
just-
you mean?
is
Someone
this the-
cheated.
Do you
and they're
think
in
this is the
competition?
end? The end of our Creator Classic talk for the week?
No.
I think a lot of people are going to ensure that the Creator Classic is talked about. There was a lot of people, stakeholders invested in that, with follower accounts and that and the other. So, all right,
Creator
but we're on to
Classic
the
will
Tour
live on.
Championship. All right, talk to you guys on Monday.